don't have wheels, you don't have a horn, you don't have windshield wipers, but you do need fuel. And just like a car has to have gasoline to go, you have to have fuel to go too. Your fuel is food. That's right. And your body uses the food just like a car uses gasoline. Okay? Now, you can't go to the gas station and get gas or food pumped into you. You go to the grocery store and you buy food. But your body does this amazing thing called digestion. And digestion breaks down the food and sends it to your bloodstream so that your whole body gets what it needs. Okay? The process of digestion is what we're going to talk about today. Okay? And I'm going to do an experiment today for you also that shows you how it works. Okay? The word digest in the dictionary means converting food into a form that can be used by the body. So what that means is that we have to break it down. It has to get smaller and smaller and smaller until my body can use it and send it to my bloodstream. So, will that whole apple fit in my mouth? No. No. That whole apple, even if it did fit in my mouth, which I have a pretty big mouth, I wouldn't be able to swallow it, would I? No. No. So the very first step of digestion is to take a bite. When we take a bite, we already broke our food down into something smaller, and that smaller piece fits in our mouth. Okay? Now, can I swallow that bite? No. What would happen if I swallowed that bite?
It would get stuck.
It would get stuck. I might choke, and that would be really dangerous. So the second step of digestion is to chew my food. When I chew my food, my teeth break that bite even smaller. Smaller, 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 right? Smaller, smaller. Well, guess what else happens when I chew?
What?
My tongue mixes the food around in my mouth, moves the food, and mixes it with my spit. The science word for spit is saliva. Can you say saliva? Okay, so my teeth are breaking the food smaller, but my tongue is mixing it with my saliva. And what happens is it starts to turn into what we call, or what we're going to call it today, a mushy mess. It turns into a mushy mess in my mouth. Now that it's a mushy mess, guess what? It's safe to swallow it, right? Am I going to choke on a soft, mushy mess? No. Probably not. So when I swallow it, it goes down this long tube called my esophagus, all the way down into, who wants my stomach. In my stomach, the next part of digestion happens. Because what's waiting in my stomach is kind of like more saliva, only it's a very strong saliva. It's called stomach acid. So stomach acid is already waiting in my stomach. And my stomach is about as big as two of my hands put together. But guess what? The stomach stretches. It's a stretchy bag. Yeah, and it kind of has a muscly action, so it kind of can move the food around. The stomach acid in my stomach and the moving of my stomach turn that mushy mess into a soupy mess. Yeah. That soupy mess is what happens when, has anybody ever thrown up before? Yeah. Did it look like a soupy mess? Yeah, that soupy mess is what's in your stomach. And that stomach acid made the food break down even smaller. Okay? Now, the next part of digestion, that soupy mess gets sent to my small intestines. And your small intestines are all right down here. And they're a very long, long tube. Kids' Health tells us they're 22 feet long.
Oh.
Wow. That's almost as long as this room, okay? So 22 feet is all curled up inside my body, and that's your small intestine. Now, your small intestine has a very, very important job. In fact, it's one of the most important jobs that actually is what defines digest. Remember, to break it down small enough so that my body can use it and send it to my bloodstream. That's what your small intestine does. Every little part of your small intestine sucks up something your body needs. One part sucks up vitamin A, and one part sucks up vitamin B, and one part sucks up vitamin C. And everything that your body needs to grow and fight germs and be healthy and have energy gets sucked out of your food by your small intestine. And it gets sent to your bloodstream so that it can go to your whole body. Okay? Yep, and it travels that whole 22 feet. And then when your body's all done sucking out every good thing that it needs, it sends what's left of that soupy mess to your large intestine. And we saw that yesterday on our model. The large intestine gets what's left. And it has a job too. The job of the large intestine is to suck out all the water. So that helps you with a couple of things. It helps you keep water in your body, which keeps you hydrated so that you don't get so thirsty. And it also makes that soupy mess harder. Because if you go to the bathroom and it's still a soupy mess, that's what we call diarrhea, right? Diarrhea. And we don't want to do that, right? We don't like that. So sucking out all that soupy mess, sucking out all the water is what makes our poops hard. Hard enough. Okay? Now, when it gets down to about here, all the water's sucked out, and guess what happens? The last part of digestion. Who knows? Nope. You have to go poop. Guys, I know it sounds funny, but guess what? Everybody poops. Every animal poops. It's very important, guys. It's not funny, it's science, right? It's very important, okay? When we poop, it gets rid of all of the things that our body does not want, which is very important. We don't want to leave those things in, right? We don't want to leave those things in. So we need to get rid of them. If we leave them in our body, it would cause us to be sick, and that would be very sad. We don't want to be sick. Right? So I want to show you what happens. I'm going to show you on bread. You're right. Now, when we do a science experiment, we can't actually cut a hole, put a window, and see what happens. So we have to try to copy the results in our experiment. All right. So I have bread, and I'm going to tear it up because it would be like if I took a big bite, right? And then I chewed it up, or I put it in my mouth. I'm going to take a pretty big bite for our experiment. Now, in my mouth, it gets mixed with what?
Saliva.
Saliva. So I'm going to put some of my acid on here, and that's going to act like my saliva. And then what do I do in my mouth? I chew. Well, I'm not going to chew a plate, so I brought a fork. My fork is going to be like my teeth. And I'm going to use it to smash, 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 just like my teeth would do. Okay? Does it look like a kind of a mushy mess?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a mushy mess. So I think it's safe for me to swallow it, right?
Yeah.
All right. When I swallow it, it's going to go down my throat, my esophagus, and it's going to go down into my stomach. When it goes down to my stomach, what's already in my stomach? Stomach acid. And remember that your stomach's kind of like a bag. Now, this bag doesn't stretch, but my stomach does move. The muscles move in your stomach, and they help turn that mushy mess into a soupy mess. Isn't that lovely? Yeah, that's what's in your stomach. That's that soupy mess that gets sent to your small intestines, okay?
You're done?